I'm going to share with you an Irish tradition in the Stevens family that dates back to the early 1900s when my grandma and grandpa Walsh came over from Ireland. It's Irish stew with Guinness stout. This is a staple in our house and has been for years around St. Patrick's Day. First, let's talk about the ingredients and preparing our food safely. Let's briefly discuss the ingredients for Irish stew with Guinness stout. You're going to want beef chuck, already cut up in the store, or you can buy it whole. I was lucky enough to find it cut up and on sale. You want carrots, onions, garlic, thyme, rosemary, salt and pepper, bay leaves, parsley, beef stock, Guinness stout, flour, and oil. Now let's get this food prepped and ready so that we can start the cooking process. All right, we're going to start with the beef chuck that I was able to buy at the store in already 1.5 to 2 inch cubes. Then we'll move on to the carrots, which you do not have to peel. Just take the ends and the tips off and chop into 1 inch cubes. Put those into a bowl and set aside for the rest of the prep. We'll move on to the onions, where you cut each tip off after cutting it in half, peel, and then start to slice and carefully dice the onions. Once the onions are diced, again put into a bowl so that you can set to the side for the rest of the prep. Next, we'll do the garlic. You'll smash it with a knife to remove the peel. Once the garlic skin is off, you're going to want to take the 3 cloves and put them into a garlic crusher. Again, set these in a bowl on the side. Once you have everything prepped and set up at the stove, you are ready to begin cooking. Ready, heat the oil over high and add your bay leaves. You then will want to brown your meat over high heat as well. Once your meat is brown, stir and add your onions. You want the onions to saute until at least clear. Once the onions are done, you're going to add your garlic. Stir and let all the ingredients combine. Now we're going to add the flour, which is also combined with all of the herbs. This will help thicken the sauce as it cooks throughout the process. Once that all is incorporated, we'll add our beef broth. Turn the heat down a little bit and allow this to simmer. Once it simmers, we're going to add the Guinness stout. 1 full bottle. Again, you're going to want to stir this all and let it come to a simmer. Once it has come to a simmer, you're going to add your remaining ingredients: a tablespoon of chopped parsley and the carrots, salt and pepper. Stir. Again, let it come to a boil. Once it does, you'll put the top on. Put the stock pot in the center of a preheated oven set at 275. Stew's in the oven, kitchen's cleaned up, everything's put away. The stew will be in the oven at 275 for at least 2 to 3 hours. You want to check on it every 45 minutes to an hour, which is fine, and you want to make sure it has enough moisture in there. If you find that there's not enough liquid in there, just add a little beef broth, and the next time you check it, you should be fine. So while we're waiting for that stew to finish, let's take a look at some of the other St. Patrick's Day traditions around the world.
Beginning in the Middle Ages, Irish Catholics would close shop and attend church to honor the feast of St. Patrick. And it was time to celebrate. St. Patrick's Day falls within Lent, the season before Easter when Catholics give up their vices as penance. The feast of St. Patrick was a one-day reprieve when Irishmen could down a pint or 2 of ale. This custom really took off. As the Irish in America gained influence in politics and culture, their exclusive holiday became a nationally recognized celebration. And it all began over 1,500 years ago, when a boy was torn from his family. Little could he know that his life would inspire parades, fashion, and yes, the hoisting of a few pints to toast his special day.
Okay, the stew's been cooking for a good 2.5 hours. Let's take it out and see where we are. We are getting close. Definitely want to go at least another 30 minutes. While we wait for the stew to finish cooking, I'd like to share with you some of the video my daughter took while visiting Ireland over the summer. We spent the afternoons visiting abbeys on the countryside, cliffs of Moher, which my sister could not get off of quick enough, then driving through the hillsides, seeing all of the country land, visiting villages that I couldn't ever imagine living in, and of course visiting the gravesite of some of our family members. We ended it, of course, at the Guinness Brewery in Dublin. All right, it's been 3 hours and our stew is ready. The best way to serve is in a bowl with a plate underneath. This way, if you serve with Irish soda bread or with any bread of your choosing, you can set that on your plate. Another great thing to add to Irish stew is mashed potatoes. You'll notice that there are no potatoes in this stew, and that's the way we make it in our family. You can add potatoes, but we choose not to. Mashed potatoes on top, perfect. I hope that you enjoyed this lesson today in making Irish stew and that you have a safe St. Patrick's Day.